You know what? It's always good here on the Bet Like Mike show when we can hit a winner like the Colorado Rockies. Welcome into the Bet Like Mike show. My name is Jon Jansen, joined by the star of the show, Mr. Mike North, all presented by WinDailySports.com. Mike North, I'm feeling pretty good after that plus 210 win last night for me.
Yeah, you got to mention that.
I thought after the Brewers losing, that game went to extra innings, nothing. They didn't score a single run off Luis Castillo last night. So I thought, you know what, this is just not my night. And then the Rockies pulled through. I needed that.
Before you introduce the show.
I needed to do it.
Before you even say hi to me.
It's not many times you win a plus 200 winner. You know, I gotta celebrate.
I understand it. Before we tell anybody our records, before we tell anybody I was 2-1 in the miracle
yes,
of
you were.
Should have gone 3-0 because Willie Harris, the coach of the Chicago Cubs, decides to wave a guy down to the Mets.
Why?
Wave a guy. Wait. There are people, and if you didn't see it, folks, Marciniak or whatever his name is was on first. They got a pinch runner, fastest guy in the team. Now, maybe some people are saying, well, they knew Jason Hayward was coming up next, so that would be a problem because he can't hit his way out of a paper bag. But when there's one out, you're going to have a man on third base. You're down in New York. You know DeGrom's going today. Do you wave a guy in? Oh, they executed the play perfectly. A little league team could have executed that play. If you're going to try to score on the ball that was cut off in the outfield that did not go to the wall. So you're not going to go 3 bases. I don't care if you're Bob Hayes, the fastest human on earth back in the 60s. You're not making it, and they did it right, the Mets, and they got it right. My guy McCann puts the thing on, and I lose that bet. That being said, I got paid back. I put my bet in early. I remember telling John yesterday, plus 218. The thing went to 219. The thing went to 220. The thing went to 221. I go, oh, my God. I put the bet in, 221 and a half. It goes 222. Okay? Thank you for the over. So I go 2-1. You go 2-1. This is destination winning. Victory.
Victory.
That's what we do here. Fastest 20 minutes, John, in all sports.
And a winning 20 minutes.
Oh, and then the last 5 minutes is all our picks. So we'll have those. Listen, forget about Willie Harris. No excuse. You shouldn't have waved him in. Anybody in Chicago, they're giving the guy a pass. No, he made an error like a ball player does. That's the way life is.
That was an error. There's no way he should have been sent. I mean, no,
Absolutely.
he got beat by a good bit. I don't think there was any chance.
The guy was having a cup of coffee. The catcher waiting for him, adjusting his equipment and everything.
Yeah, he was having a nice cup of Wawa coffee.
Oh, I love it. I've had about 15 cups. I played golf already this morning. Got a little color in my face. The hair's a little better. All I'm telling people is this. Tyler Glasnow's mad because they didn't give him enough time to adjust to a different way of cheating than he already was. I heard Dennis Eckersley say yesterday, man, I never heard of that suntan oil and rosin and all this other stuff. So these guys go into the lab and they form up concoctions that help make them better and make them more money. And then when the guy gets hurt, he blames that because, you know what? We were cheating. But, man, you got to give us a warning when you catch us cheating, and you're going to say no more cheating. Am I reading this wrong?
Well, I mean, this has been a way of life in baseball for years. Like, it may not have been sunscreen and rosin, but it was something. All pitchers, I think, for decades and for all of Major League Baseball have used something.
Which is wrong.
Maybe not help them with spin rate, which the Spider Tack does, but just help them get a little bit of grip. Because these baseballs apparently are just hard to throw, and it's not. And to doctor them a little bit, or to at least get them to a nice grip, I think it had a problem with Tyler Glasnow's injury, and it definitely had something to do with it. I really
maybe it did, and we'll see if anybody else gets hurt because they're cheating so much. They've told Major League Baseball, and Major League Baseball teams have told their pitchers, okay, start doing it the right way. Don't do anything like that.
But if it's been a way of life in baseball for, decades,
it's still cheating, John. If it's
right,
a way of life, and
I think take it away in the offseason to make a change now. It's almost like, would they change the baseball in the middle of the season? That would almost seem ludicrous to do that, right? Like, it just, I don't know.
I will tell you this. I don't care how they're doing it. I think because it was so blatant this year by certain players and certain pitchers.
Well, yeah. I agree
the script, this tic-tac grip or whatever they're talking about. I don't even know what it is.
Spider tack, I think.
Pitchers like better than they are already, unhittable. I think it was the no-hitters. I think it was who's throwing the no-hitters. And I heard Carlos Rodon say this, and I'm with him 100% on this. First of all, Manfred's the worst possible commissioner.
Absolutely.
You could have. Yeah. I mean, this guy from 7-inning games and doubleheaders to the runner on second base to not addressing this right, and I'll tell you about that in a minute, to all the other infractions, to Rodon said it right. Rodon said it right. You're going to suspend us, but you didn't suspend or expel the Houston Astros. And there's where the players got a problem. You're stopping us from doing what you allowed us to do. But now you're putting the hammer down on us. But there you got the cheaters. And don't think it doesn't bother the other players in baseball. Because every time something like this comes up, the Astros come up. And Manfred did nothing, John. And that's where you run into the rub about how come we're getting beat up and other people aren't.
Yeah, and I know this in particular, this circumstance, I feel like is divisive in locker rooms. Like, I don't feel like everybody is completely okay with just taking away everything. The spider tack stuff, that seems to me to be the biggest egregious.
Right. I'll go along with you on that. Right. I'll go along with you on that.
So pitchers are just trying to find, some of them, like it seemed Glasnow was just trying to find a way to grip it at least so he doesn't feel like the ball is sailing away from him. I feel like this is divisive. Not every player wants this away, and not every even batter, because now pitchers are going to be maybe more wild than they used to, and we've already seen a bunch of pitchers or a bunch of batters get hit in the face already. We've already seen these problems.
I think it was the 5-6 no-hitters, and I think it was a record low in baseball. I think if everything's going about midway through, I think if everything right now, if they're scoring more runs at the beginning of the season, I think COVID had something to do with this. I think there's divisiveness in the locker room right now about COVID, okay? Let's just jump off Glass now. He's just going to have to adjust, and so is everybody else for the time being. But let's talk about divisiveness. Chris Paul now has put his team in jeopardy of winning anything because he's been hit with the COVID protocol. Now, I don't know how long it's going to last. They say right now it's indefinite. That's not a good thing. And I know Anthony Rizzo in Chicago hasn't taken the vaccine, and neither is Jason Hayward. This is the vaccine that people got to get amusement park tickets to take. I took the vaccine. I wasn't totally sold on it, but me and my wife took it. We're a little bit older. So we took it. Now I'm finding out a lot of people aren't taking it, including teams with guys that have taken it. But I want to get your take first on this Chris Paul situation. Is it selfish, or it's your body, but you're playing a team sport and you're putting to put it in the words of Anchorman, the whole staff in jeopardy? The whole newsroom in jeopardy.
So I think the last thing I saw was Chris Paul did actually get vaccinated, and you can still test positive even though you are vaccinated. The whole reason for a vaccine is to be able to fight it and not have problems. So you can still test positive.
About some people who are getting it again, even if they've been vaccinated.
Right, and the vaccine is supposed to be able to help you fight it. That's right. It's not supposed to help you prevent from getting it. And I think this is where, and we're seeing this in the entire world, that we went from pandemic and everything shut down to now we have vaccines and we're vaccinated, but we're still seeing positive tests. And I think because of, after every positive test before, it was freak out, but now we have the vaccine. So now it's just the test of, hey, if you really think these vaccines work, which obviously I think they do. Obviously they put them out there. I was vaccinated. I didn't even think twice about it. But now we have to put it into theory, into tests, that science is telling us the right thing, and that science is telling us that he should be fine and he can't pass it on to anyone. And if that's the case, he should be able to play. Like, at this point, it's just, it does seem a little bit of theater to be like, oh, he's positive for COVID, he's out. Hey, look, if the science is telling you that he can be out there, even if he's tested positive with COVID and the vaccine's supposed to do its job, let the vaccine do its job and he can be out there and play.
I go back to the days, my friend, and sometimes I look back with fondness, and other times I go, I did that? Anyway, I go back to the days where it would be nothing for the announcer to go, well, the Memphis Grizzlies flew in last night. No, let's go farther back. The Atlanta Hawks, Dominique Wilkins, the 5'6" Atlanta Hawks have the flu right now.
Right.
They'll be shorthanded tonight. I think that's how COVID's going to be. I mean, some people get tested for COVID. Rizzo, he didn't even know he had it. I think the thing that puzzles people about the Rizzo situation is he had cancer.
Right.
And now he's not getting the vaccination. And what we've heard is if you did have a pre-existing condition, which I think that is, even if it's at a rest right now, that's the shocker, that he's the one not getting it. So we'll see what happens. I think, hey, they're suspending people for not getting it. I mean, that's getting into certain people's rights and stuff, but you got the team concept there. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. This is the first real now case study we get to see of this, of whether or not the, NBA and NFL, are preaching, hey, these vaccines are working, these vaccines are safe. Well, now put it in the test. I mean, I think this would be the right thing to do.
I got a new, while you're off doing your 9-10 jobs a day, you're changing hats, changing your T-shirts. So it looks like you're doing it from different studios, maybe putting a picture up on the wall back there to make sure, maybe a banner, when basically you're in like a corner of your bedroom or wherever you're at.
Actually, yes, I am in a corner of my bedroom.
Yeah. Every so often you gaze at the posters of the wall or locker, or maybe the Eagles as a team. I know all that, but I do know this. I decided to come up with a segment. Am I wrong? And in honor of John Goodman, who in The Big Lebowski would say often, "Am I wrong? Am I wrong?"
Dude.
The Dude. That was a great movie. Am I wrong to think people are nuts? I understand Kevin Durant had an outstanding game last night. I love it. That's a defining game for him, if indeed they go all the way. It's a defining game. But don't start the Mount Rushmore crap with me. Oh, he's got to be on Mount Rushmore. I heard that. He's a hell of a player. Don't get me wrong. And the people that says he's an MVP, well, you got to play a full season, first of all, and you got to make sure you're okay. So that's nonsense. But he had a hell of a game. But he's not on the Mount Rushmore of basketball players, and I would like to take you back. I'll just name Chamberlain and Jordan, and then you could fit them in and see if you could fit Durant or even LeBron in there. Because Jabbar, Kobe, Magic, Bird. There's a lot of guys that could be up there. Bill Russell. I got Jordan and Chamberlain. Those are my two cemented. Put anybody else you want. But the one guy I won't put in, no matter what he did last night, is Durant.
Well, yeah. I mean, even LeBron James at this point has a more successful and storied career than Durant. But I will say this.
That was a great game.
A great game. But right now, active players currently playing in the NBA, when he's healthy on the floor, he might be right now the best player in the NBA. That was single-handed. And you know what, the Bucks, everybody wants to talk about Giannis choked and the Bucks choked. I don't know if it's choking.
Playing fine.
I thought they were great. How can you stop what Durant was doing? The guy was shooting, between him and Jeff Green, they were shooting almost over 75% from the floor. That is insane. How can you keep up with that?
Let me tell you something. They want to put Giannis on him. Good. Maybe they should have done that the other day. Right. But you want to get him in foul trouble? Is that what you're looking for?
Well,
I mean, that's what you're going to get with Durant. He'll drive on you. He'll stop. He'll fake you in the air. You'll be all hyped up. The next thing you know, you have two, and you got to leave the floor with 2 minutes left in the first quarter.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. Well, just look, even James Harden wasn't even looking that great, and still Drew Holiday got in foul trouble early in that game. It's just when you're guarding these top guys, you have the risk and run the risk of getting into foul trouble. Absolutely.
I got to tell you, I think I'm not a Harden guy. I can't stand the guy. I don't like him. I think he's all about him. That's just me. But I never had more respect for a guy last night. He was hurt. He was hurt last night. He impressed me more last night with nothing except him going out there and battling for his team.
Yeah.
I don't care about the 35-point games and leaving Houston and the way you did. You did a lot of, I think, cowardly things. I think you got yourself fat and out of shape to get out of a contract. I don't agree with that. But last night, I was a fan of his because he said, without me on the floor, we're done. Durant doesn't have that game.
Played over 40 minutes with that injury, too.
What? Yeah.
He played over 40 minutes, which is insane.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that. Now, last but not least, before college baseball and women's college softball is great, but let's calm down. People saying this is the greatest thing. Why don't even people? No, it's nice. Okay, it's a good filler for the summer.
Yeah, if your college is in it, it's exciting. Like East Carolina was in it, I loved watching it. But no, it's not like the greatest thing. Right?
It's not.
Well, it is great watching two college kids like that East Carolina game throwing about 100 miles an hour, and it's just the talent on the mound was ridiculous. So it can be fun if you. Right, it's
great stuff, but cut it out. It's filler. If it was on TV against the big sports, okay, there's a reason it's not during the daytime. Just like there's a reason I have Wales today. I have no idea who they are. I don't know what their uniforms look like. I'm not a degenerate. I'm betting soccer at 11 in the morning, walking the tightrope, ladies and gentlemen.
That sounds fun. That sounds fun. It sounds like a degeneracy, but I'm okay with that. That's what I am.
The Wendella when he fell in Puerto Rico off the tight wire and the pole started going. That's what I'm doing with Wales today, my friends. I'll pick a game if you will. Now, this is what America tunes in for. There are certain things that you have to be there for. 60 Minutes back in the day. You know, the Friends reunion, guys like John ran to it.
He's still not going to let that go, all right? That I'm a big Friends fan. It's understandable.
Well, they're all my age, and yet they're hip. I mean, no, they're a little younger than me. But Jennifer Aniston, I'm a big fan. Horrible Bosses.
So funny. Yeah, very funny.
Yeah, does it? But I like her outside of the Friends realm. That being said, this is what America tunes in for. Destination. It's called The Picks. And I got to be honest with you. I looked hard and I looked long today. There ain't crap out there except one game for me. I think the Atlanta Braves come back tonight and cast revenge on a team. And I was so mad. Do you ever have a pick for the show and you want to give it out? Yesterday I'm rattling off the picks. I had Boston down, so I lose credit on the show, but we win every day anyway, so it doesn't matter. I took it, and that was my savior of the night. In that game, they were up 5-0, 6-0. The thing I like about Boston, they never stop. They score and they beat Atlanta last night.
Their offense is relentless. It really is.
It is. Relentless. I like Atlanta tonight. That's the only pick I got, John. So who do you got? Johnny J, by the way. And I was going to ask him. I put Johnny J on last night. It's tough. Jonny. My brother John, John. I don't know why two spellings, But I went Jonny. Go ahead, Mike.
There you go. I'm gonna take tonight. I can't go back to the Rockies with Kyle Freeland on the mound. But what I will do is I'll go with the Athletics. This is a short. They're a short favorite, -124 against the Angels. Angels are throwing out there Griffin Canning. I hate Griffin Canning. I don't think he's a good pitcher.
Who's he? It sounds like a canning company. I have no idea. Griffin Canning. And I have out of Modesto. I have no idea.
And Cole Irvin has regressed a little bit.
California.
And Cole Irvin on the mound for the Athletics has regressed a little bit, but I think he's still good enough. I'll take Oakland on the short line here at home.
Man, I remember when I was younger, I knew every player in the major leagues. I knew his batting average, his ERA. You name me two pitchers, I have no idea who these men are.
Well, unfortunately, I know Cole Irvin because he had some not so great years with the Phillies.
Well, that's how I find out about these guys. Yeah. When I start betting on them,
Yeah, well, that too, yeah.
I hate some of these other guys or whatever their names are. Oakland and the Angels. I don't know what's going to happen. Ugh.
So, I may be a sucker for these next two bets, though, but I'm taking both. You got
two more. Go ahead, kid.
I'm taking both favorites tonight in the NBA. I'm taking the Sixers, laying the 7 against the Hawks. They'll crush the Hawks tonight. And then the Jazz, with Kawhi Leonard being out, I think the Jazz at home bounce back in a big way. I'm going to take them laying the 7 as well.
Okay, and I just got the one game. Now you got the baseball game. I got the baseball game. And I'll tell you what, folks, Atlanta won't, it's time for Freddie Freeman stand up. Singularly, my favorite role player in the game might be Freddie Freeman, unless you bet against him. That Atlanta team, Atlanta's a disappointment right now. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely, 100%. Yep.
With all the guys that they got, I think they're a disappointment. But one thing that sounds a disappointment is we're here every single day. I will not be here tomorrow, Tomorrow I have a couple of other things that I got to do, but we'll be back on Friday. And make sure you just follow us on Twitter. Make sure you check all this out.
WinDailySports.com.
North and and Jay Jansen 34, Johnny J, as I like to call him. Hey, this was fun. I got color in my face. I'm feeling good.